Hey guys, I'm Evan and this is Magnolias and Sunlight, and today is day 25 of DIY or Die, my series where we make a Halloween inspired DIY project every day in the month of October. And we are in the final stretch. There are only 7 more, depending on how you're counting them, projects left in this entire series, and I am so amazed that we have come this far. But today we're going to go back outside and do a small little installation with these guys. So I love these little witch silhouette things that I've seen them all over my neighborhood. And when I found a pack of styrofoam balls and some party hats on sale at Michael's, I thought I can make those. So I'm going to show you how I make it. It is super quick. It is super easy. The bamboo stakes we used and the wire are things I already had. So honestly, I think you could probably figure out how to make these with basically recyclables or random things that you've already owned in your house. But there's also a big reason I made this, and I will show you that right now. So let's go outside. So a few years ago, I went on a hunt to find a real cast iron cauldron, and I could never find one. They were very expensive on Marketplace. And then I was in home, like making sure my neighbors aren't watching me. And then I was in Goodwill not that long ago, and I found this one. It was color of the day, so it was half off. It's kind of busted on this, like the arm isn't actually connected over here, and it's really, really rusty and kind of disgusting. It's very greasy, so you have to wash your hands after you touch it. But I got it for like $8, and it sparked this idea of wanting to do this little like witch's coven, and this is basically how we've ended up where we are. Okay guys, to make our little outdoor witches, I have these styrofoam balls that are from the clearance section at Michael's. And then I also found these paper cones that were in the clearance section as well. I want to make 3 witches. So one of these, I can only find one of these in the clearance section. So for a third one, I had to buy an individual one, and that made me grumpy because you have to buy 2-pack, and they were like kind of expensive when they're not on sale. They're $7 for 2 of these. So I bought a half one because that was something I could get as an individual. And I don't know how it's gonna go to have 2 witches with like a full head and then one that has half of a head, but we're gonna figure it out. So in addition, we have a bamboo stake, which I think is gonna be the body. Like that. And then we have some wire to try and make the arms out of, like that. And then this is a table runner that is kind of see-through, but I think outside, I think it'll do the job. So my thought, we're gonna make a hat out of the small cone, and I guess I'm gonna have to paint it. I didn't think about that. I just thought I could assemble these. But I think that's the right size. I think this one, these are very flimsy. Oh, maybe that's the right size. How many? Okay. So these, maybe that one can then be the body. I'm trying to figure out, like, if I cut the top off of this and we push maybe a little bit more. Here, and then we do the arms, and then the fabric will kind of flow away. Just dropped all of those on the floor. The fabric would kind of flow away from the cone. So I'm just gonna like assemble this real quick. Kind of the skeleton of our witch. And then do a loop. Maybe a double loop, keep that in place. And then we can glue that there. Then we can take our fabric and lay it flat because that will be the bottom. So find the bottom, plus obviously you need space to stick this into the ground. And then it's really the arms, because like I don't want to have to try and make her a shirt. but I don't know how. If we fold it over, get rid of that. Let me zoom you out, make sure you can see what I'm doing. Okay, so folded the fabric over, and my thought is we tie a knot here, right? Collect all that fabric. That's tied in place with a little bow, and then she'll have her hat on. And then this bit is the part that I guess we could just glue and kind of create like faux arms. Maybe we do that with glue. That's how we do it. And then the hat will go here. And then it's just a game of draping the sheer fabric. And I also think I need to find something to put on the hands. They're very pointy at this point. So I don't know if that's gonna be using some of our clay, or if I could go find a little wooden bead maybe to put on there. I think I have some wooden like oval beads or plastic oval beads that I could put on there just to kind of try and make that not so like sharp looking. Okay friends, so all assembled, this is what we have. And I think my takeaways on the practice one is that at night, I don't think it's gonna be as noticeable, but during the daytime, this is very sheer fabric, right? Like I'm just using something that I already had. But I think doubling this up would be smart so that you can't see the green. I've already glued this hat down, so I might just leave this one. And then the little hands that we made, you can also see. So I might hit those with some black paint on the second one. So let's build one of these completely together. This does work. And once you tie the neck in, you don't have to do anything to the body. It just naturally drapes really pretty and just kind of looks like they have their hands in their robes, basically. So again, we need a length of bamboo, and I did bring her back in because I specifically want to make sure that these are all about the same height. And this is really thin bamboo, so I am able to break it. You might need scissors or like pruning shears or something to get through. That one had a flat spot on the top, and this one has a flat spot on, well, it had flat spots all over it. I think that's why it was in the clearance section. But I'm gonna go ahead and put my bamboo stake straight into that spot. And that's pretty loose, so I might hit it with a little hot glue. Hot glue on styrofoam, always a little sketchy. Like, is it gonna melt it or is it gonna stick? You never know. So check our heights. That's pretty good. She can be a little bit taller. And then you can also adjust like by when you stick them in the ground, making sure that everyone is about the same height. So now we need our little coil of wire. And so right about that length. Basically, I'm just eyeballing what looks like a normal, like normal arms, basically. And then we're gonna, again, fold one around. And then fold it back around. And that's going to be the front. Alrighty, so now we're just going to chop off the top of this cone, enough for our bamboo stake to fit through, and that just gives us a little shape around the body. I'm taking my hot glue, and we're putting a decent dollop around the wire, and then all the way around the cone, because we want that to stay in place. So I thought our circle last time was a little small, so I'm kind of gonna go, I'm honestly gonna eyeball it, but I think there is a little bit better. And then I'm just gonna cut a semicircle in our felt. And all the way around. center that. And then additionally, we need to add our hands again. So I felt like this method worked fairly well, where I put the hand in place and then added the glue. Luckily, we don't really have to clean up our glue strings on this project because it's all going under that black fabric. Okay. So on this one, I am going to take my black paint and I'm going to double layer the head, but I don't want to double layer the whole thing because I can just cut a little square to do that. But I am going to just lightly hit this with some black paint so that it blends a little bit more. And I will do this to the other one as well. So that she's, I'm going to leave one green. It's very wicked, you know. But the other ones we can darken their, at least the base and the hands, so that they don't stick out as much. Okay, so I'm gonna try and double this one up with the fabric. This one length of fabric was pretty perfect for the three that I made, so I don't have that much extra. So I'm just going to make it work with what we have. But I think one extra layer of fabric will help make sure that you don't see too much green through. Now we're going to put this piece over. So to make this, I'm going to put this off to the side. And then I have some firewood. And I'm going to build a little base for it. And we have lights. So I'm going to do one plant pot upside down. And then I'm going to do another one on top of that. And then I have these lights that I got off of Amazon. And they glow red, so it's gonna look like a fire's burning. I'm probably not gonna be able to show you guys now, but I'll put in some clips at the very end of it all lit up and try and not let them get wildly tangled. But I thought I could do like this all the way around our pot, and then I can stack the wood around it, and it's gonna, like, the gaps, you'll see all the red lights coming through. So that's gonna go there. It just gets it a little height. And this is the last day my sprinklers are running because it's finally cold, so nothing will get wet. And we are under a cover. This is a covered area of my porch. So even though our witches are made of, like, partly made of paper, they're not going to get wet. And then on the back side, I'm gonna put the battery pack in the pot, and then we can just turn it on as needed and run this cord down the back so that all the lights stay underneath. Oh, you can kind of see it. Okay, good. I was worried it was be too bright. And then I'm gonna stack the wood around it like so. I was like, am I already out? Just push them into the ground. You're showing off your steak, little lady. Clean it up. believe this is working. I can't wait to show you guys the close-ups and the night shots. I think it's gonna look really good. So this one is the one we double layered the fabric on. This one is the single layer, and you can definitely tell she's green. So we've just named her Elphaba. Last but not least, obviously I think everyone has seen this trick. And I'm wondering if we can prop these like so. What does that look like? Okay, I think we need a few more of the Christmas bubbles, and then it'll be really good.